Mm-hmm.
Does the volume look like it's working?
Yeah, I
one,
can
two.
totally say something. Let me know if you can't hear me.
All right.
Cool.
How's she coming for on volume levels? Good. Okay.
Yeah.
We're in the green. And we are recording now, right? All right. Well, it's been a while, guys. So CCH Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Just might as well just
Godcast.
call it. It's not. We're not gonna call it Godcast because it's the
we
most.
are though because it's the best name.
Everybody calls it the CCH Podcast at this point. Anyway.
Okay, no one calls it anything because
What?
this is the third episode.
This is like the fourth episode.
Oh.
Thank you. There was Leroy. It was Emily. Then it was Leroy, and then it was Matt Martin, and then it was you, and then it was you again because we messed up the last recording.
Yep. So we're on 5 episodes, guys.
Yeah, we're doing great, guys. New podcast. Who dis?
Kristen Ross. Hey, everybody.
Kristen, and obviously I'm Nick, and somewhere in the background right now you can't see is Rachel Conrad doing video switching stuff. So we appreciate that. Yeah. So, Kristen, how you been with coming back, school, everything like that?
So this is my last semester, so
Nice.
It's been a hectic one. A lot going on. Working, school, CCH, all the things. Keeping busy for
Right.
sure.
So you abandoned us by moving out, and
did. I'm sorry.
so why? What's going on?
Well, I live with Madison Odell, wonderful roommate, and we got a house that we're renting.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a yard and a garden and cool things.
Yeah. Speaking of garden, starting from 5, moving up to 1, what are your top 5 favorite plant names of all the plants in your house right now?
Oh gosh.
First of all, how many plants do you have in your house?
Okay,
right
that's
now?
a different question. So inside the house, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 live plants in the house that are mine.
That are yours. Okay.
That are mine. Madison has 1 live plant. She's working on it.
All right.
And then we have just like a couple like fake plants.
All right. What are your top 5 favorite names so far?
Okay. So
I will also include the one that died.
Yes.
R.I.P. Cactus Everdeen.
Yes, Cactus Everdeen. Just kind of a preface. All of my plant names, no matter the plant, they have puns related to every single one of them. So that's who I am as a plant mother. So number 5. Wow, this is hard. Okay, well, 2 of them go together. Can those be
Yeah, that's
together?
fine.
Okay. So number 5 would probably be Ella Jade. And so I have a plant. It's a dwarf jade plant, or it's also called an elephant bush. So for all those different names, she's called Ella Jade. She's in my bedroom. She's wonderful. Let me think. Okay.
All right. Let's just go with your favorite. What's your favorite one? Number 1.
Oh, well, no, I got to share. They're all so good.
Kristen, this podcast can't go forever.
Well, so I have Johann and Sebastian. They're together. They are Dieffenbachia plants.
What is a Dieffenbachia plant?
It's like a big leaf
Okay.
plant. Yeah. Kind of looks like palm leaves. They're just really big. But since they're Dieffenbachia plants, it's Johann Sebastian Dieffenbachia. You get it. Good stuff. I have Poe, which is my bamboo plant. Since Kung Fu Panda, Poe, the panda, eats bamboo. And then probably my favorite is Sandra D. She is a plant that has green leaves, but they're lined in pink. Mm-hmm. So she's a pink lady. So Sandra D.
Oh boy. All right. So you've been reading through the Bible all year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when did you start in January, or are you doing like the daily
September 2019.
At least it wasn't September 2018.
That's true. It was supposed to be Old Testament in a year, but I didn't really take a hiatus. It's just like they want me to read 3 chapters a day, and I'll just read 1. And so
is it like an app, or what is it?
Yeah, it's the Bible Project plan on YouVersion.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
really just going through.
And that's like the Bible Project, same as the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Like that. Solid
Love
content. 10 out of 10 would recommend.
Bible Project. Their videos, their podcast, everything.
So, where you at right now?
So I am in Jeremiah 29.
Yeah, we definitely weren't prepared beforehand. Didn't know that at all. So, Jeremiah 29, home to the most popular generic
29:11.
29:11, which is, let's see. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future.
Never
So
seen that on a
obviously-
graduation card.
Obviously, this was written directly to, anybody who's graduating like high school or college, and it definitely doesn't have any outside context, right?
Not a bit. No, it says
okay.
to graduates of American universities.
All right. Obviously, we're being
here's the
sarcastic
verse.
here, but
Hard to tell with a
so,
mask.
Kristen, you've studied this far more than I have. Jeremiah 29:11. What's going on?
Yeah. So pretty much, I mean, just blatantly in my Bible, it says a letter to the exiles. And so this is Jeremiah. He is a prophet from God. And in this time, Israel's not doing great by any means. And so he keeps trying to tell the Israelites, like, hey, get your stuff together. Otherwise, God's going to kick you out and send you in exile to Babylon. And they're like, no, we'll be fine. Like, these other prophets are saying different things. Like, what about them? And he's like, okay, but like, listen to me. Like, this is from God. Listen. And they don't, surprisingly, because, Israelites, Old Testament, kind of what happens.
TBH, the Israelites are kind of representative of everybody.
That is true.
We kind of all fall away at some point, but
yeah,
it's the beauty of God. He kind of forgives us. But yeah, so yeah, I kind of looked at it too, and it's really funny because like Jeremiah keeps saying over and over and over, like this is going to be like at the very beginning of Jeremiah 29, he's talking about like, hey, have kids, build a house, like plant food. This is going to be a long thing. Like Jeremiah 29:11 is the portion where it's like you will be delivered, but right before that it'll be like 70 years from now, which is basically an entire generation. It's not necessarily an exact 70 years kind of thing. But these prophets keep coming up like, no, it's going to happen quickly. You're going to be fine. We're going to be saved. And God keeps telling Jeremiah, who's his prophet, like, yeah, those guys are not my prophets. They're preaching falsehood.
Yeah, I'm not telling them that.
Yeah, and whenever Jeremiah like brings up like a couple of prophets that like surely they will die within this year, and like
yes, that just happened.
Yeah,
that was in chapter 28. So check out chapter 28.
Yeah.
There's another prophet who's speaking things against what Jeremiah is saying, and Jeremiah's like, okay, God says you're gonna die within the year. And then he does, like 2 months later.
Yeah, he's going to die like within a year. And then you also have like these other guys later where it's like they're basically going to be burned by Nebuchadnezzar.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because if you look at it from not just from like a prophetic understanding of like obviously Jeremiah is a prophet and he was accurate and it's correct. And we can look in history that there was this period of time where the Israelites were, conquered by the Babylonians because this is a historical document. But also we can see that if you are a conquering nation, and then you have these leaders in the community that are like, we're going to be freed and it's going to happen soon. That can kind of sound like rebellion. So you're not going to hesitate to take those guys out.
That's true.
So Jeremiah, when we're saying this, is like, well, yeah, duh, they're going to die because basically they're, sponsoring insurrection for this country that just absolutely decimated Judah and Israel.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah.
So within context of specifically verse 11, so yeah, like you said, Jeremiah is telling on the people, this is happening, and it's going to be like a longer time than you anticipated. So like make the most of it is really what he's saying. Like settle down, like make families, like farm, do things, like don't just feel like you're in captivity and you're just like waiting to bust out. Like take your time, like settle down and be there and be present. Because like he says in verse 11, because he knows plans beyond that. He has a plan for you afterwards. Just be patient and wait for that plan, which could also speak to graduates and things. Like we're expecting like, oh, God has a plan for me right now.
Yeah.
Maybe that plan that he's anticipating is in a couple years. Like he's asking for patience there. But really he's just telling you that to give you that hope and that you have a future. Yeah. So,
and it's kind of like, because obviously, so this wasn't written, I mean, the Bible wasn't written to us. It was written to people thousands of years
Right, exactly.
ago.
This is
and that's very important to remember that context. That doesn't mean that it's not applicable, like you just said, like, for college graduates and stuff like that. I think the thing that people get hung up on is like this whole section is talking about how you need to be patient. You need to, like, there is a plan, but it's going to be a while.
Right.
And, sometimes God plans happen rapidly. Sometimes they don't. God's in charge, not us. But the point is, like, not to lose hope. which I think even right now, like in the middle of a pandemic and everything like that, like everybody's just kind of locked down, and we can't just, I'm not saying obviously wear your mask, be safe, social distance and all that stuff, but at the same time, don't stop living life. Don't just like lock yourself in your house forever. Like don't just things are different, but don't let that crush you, because there is hope. It's just
we can't put hope on a timeline.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that defeats the purpose of hope.
Yeah. So I think that's the right application of this verse, is not necessarily like everything's going to be great for you right now. It's going to be God has a plan that's greater than what you understand. And honestly, that doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, things are always going to be great in life, but that's kind of the beauty behind Jesus' death on the cross, is we have something to expect beyond this life.
Yep.
So
Definitely.
yeah. So that's Jeremiah 29:11. Chiefs.
Oh, 2 days away.
Yep.
So close.
Excited?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Like I can't even like comprehend it yet. It doesn't feel like fall. It doesn't feel like football season. Again, this year has been weird.
Yeah.
So once Thursday hits.
Yeah. Are they having fans, or do they?
I think so. I think they're at 20 to 25% capacity within the stadium.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know they had fans for the practices and stuff like that.
People have been there for those.
Like, that'd be fun. You see the video where Patrick Mahomes, he was like, all right, last play, I'm going to go out, I'm going to catch a touchdown, I'm going to throw the football out of the stadium.
Yes.
Good times. That's my QB.
Whoa, so much.
But yeah, what do you expect in the first game?
It's going to be tough. I think because we're playing the Texans, who we had in the playoff season, so it's going to be a good game for sure. Definitely challenging. You know, even if it's a loss, I don't think it's going to be.
It's not the end of the world. It's
right. No, it's the beginning of the season. It's not going to set the tone for the whole season, because Chiefs are like comeback city, which was the same for the Royals when they won, and so like. Obviously.
It's an interesting, consistent thing with the Kansas City.
Like, really. Teams. Yeah, someone needs to look into that more, because
it's very frustrated Cardinals fans right now. We're not disrespecting them. It's just we got to have something once every 30 or 50 years. So
specifically 30 and 50 years.
So like I knew those off the top of my head. Yeah, so in the past, we've had some pretty solid sponsors. I believe Leroy's Beard was a very popular one. Remember to go to Leroy's Beard for all your Leroy's Beard need. Yeah, this episode of the podcast is not financially brought to you, but it is physically brought to you by Proclaim. Kristen, what's Proclaim?
Proclaim is professionals claiming biblical principles. I am fortunate enough to be the president of Proclaim this semester, and really it's just a student organization housed in the business school, but open to all students of all majors. Really, we are just here to connect Christians across campus and build them up and encourage them for what it looks like to proclaim your faith in the workplace. So after you graduate, what does it look like to be a professional, a nurse, an engineer, anything like that in your career? What does it look like to be a Christian in that role? You know, we're all called to ministry in different ways. And so we want to see what it looks like to be a minister within your work. And so we do a lot of that through bi-weekly meetings with discussions or guest speakers from around the area in Missouri. So really, yeah, any business professional, like I said, nurse, engineer, any kind of career like that, we want to bring those type of people in who have experienced, you know, just showing their faith through their work and through their presence in a company, and, you know, what that looks like for them and advice they have for students.
Where do you normally meet?
Cornell 131, room 131 is where we're meeting this year. Thursdays, every other Thursday from 5:30 to 6:30. Our first meeting is the 10th, but that's like a meet and greet, and then our first real meeting is September 24th.
Okay, cool. Yeah, also I got an email about something, faith-driven investor / faith-driven entrepreneur conference. What's that? So
I just received info about that. I don't know a lot about it, but it's all virtual. I believe it's just on the 24th. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that is just a virtual conference of really based on entrepreneurship, with like being faith driven. I know it kind of says it in the name. They're having a lot of speakers. I heard Lecrae is going to speak, a lot of big business owners. I scrolled through the list today, but I can't remember other names. But really they're just going to be like giving seminars and talks about, you know, what does it look like to build a business, you know, with faith being the driver of that.
Yeah. Which is going to be incredibly interesting. I mean, even with Proclaim and with this organization, all like sometimes it's not always the nicest way to make money in this world.
Yeah.
So understanding how to do that in a spiritually guided way is incredibly valuable.
Yeah, for sure.
So we did this last time on the podcast that nobody saw. Speed round.
Yes.
Friends of the office.
Friends. Oh my gosh, do you know me?
So, and then what did we talk about last time? There was something that we jumped off. Who are you?
Oh, I'm Monica.
Okay. Which means what? Obviously, I watch Friends all the time. She's the one with the dark hair, right?
Yes,
okay.
short dark hair. Not that reason for me, but
she was a chef.
Yes, she was a chef, which I'm learning to cook. Shout out to anyone who follows me on Snapchat. Kristen and Madison learned to cook.
Handle dropped in?
No, but if you do follow me on Snapchat, you know what I'm talking about with Kristen and Madison learn to cook. So that's been fun. Yeah, very detail oriented, type A for sure. Leader within the friend group.
It's almost as though you're in charge of a business school, religious organization.
That is very possible. Monica would do
and
that.
And a million other things. Lose all your money or all the pictures that you have ever taken.
Lose all my money. I don't have a lot right now, so it's not that bad.
I guess that's fair. Yeah,
and I can get more.
At this point, you're probably. I don't know about you, but at this point, whenever I was in your college career, I was definitely at the negatives.
So. Oh, not that bad, no.
Well, I mean, college debt, but
yeah.
Invisibility or flight.
Flight.
Okay. Live where it only snows or where it's never below 100 degrees.
Snows.
Okay. Slightly late or super early. Wow.
I want to be early, but I'm always slightly late.
That's kind of interesting. I wouldn't have thought of that.
I don't want to waste my time,
Run 100 miles per hour or fly 10 miles per hour.
Run. Although I think we talked about this last time. Like, do I get sweaty as if I am running a lot?
I don't know. Does the Flash get sweaty?
I don't know. See, like things like that. I need.
Where's Cameron Flat when we need him? Or Jess Culbertson. So yeah. Okay. Let's say you don't sweat.
Oh yeah, then run.
Okay, run. All right. Also, you have to think about that too from like a physical standpoint as a human being. So you can run 100 miles per hour, but you're still a human.
Right. Like, am I getting tired?
Well, what happens if you trip?
capable?
You just tripped at 100 miles per hour. You're gonna die.
Yeah.
Physics are still a thing.
Just make sure I have wide open spaces to run.
And then
No
with the
cutting
flying thing,
corners
like
or
what happens if
anything.
you get distracted? Do you just like forget that you're flying and then you're falling? Like, it's a weird question.
Yeah.
Who decided to ask
yeah.
this? Favorite Disney character?
Oh gosh. Oh my goodness.
I believe in you.
Oh man, probably Genie.
Genie. Okay. Which one?
OG.
OG. Okay.
OG. Don't
right.
give me that, Nick.
right,
Will was good, but OG.
Will was legitimately like he got destroyed on social media initially, but he did a lot better than
He's
I was
not bad, but
yeah.
when you compare
it's
him
Robin
to
Williams. I mean,
right,
come on.
like yeah, you can't make that kind of
yeah, he
comparison.
basically ad-libbed most of his lines, which is interesting in an animation. Travel to the past to meet your ancestors, or future to see your descendants.
Future.
Okay. Cool.
Because like I have like pictures and stories. I can get an idea of my ancestors, but I have no clue about like my future generations.
That could be true. Also, you get to go to the future.
Like year 3000.
What if you're like, you go to the future and they're like, sorry, nothing happens after 2020. So
I'd be like, not surprised.
Whoops. Yep. Yeah, in my current situation, I might as well go with the ancestors. I feel like I have better odds. Name your... Let's see, what is it? All right, last one. What is the next fad to be popularized?
The next fad to be popularized?
Yep. What's like the next thing?
Oh gosh. See, I'm always like 3 fads behind everything, so I'm not good at this. Podcasts?
We'll find out. Well, guys, welcome to our last podcast. I'm joking. We're going to keep trying to do this. But just as we're closing out, Kristen, where do we go for Proclaim?
Proclaim, you go to Cornell Hall, room 131, every other Thursday from 5:30 to 6:30. Or you can send us an email at mizzouproclaim@outlook.com if you have any questions. Happy to answer them for you.
Cool. And do you have anything that you'd like to say? Any words of encouragement or any thoughts before we go?
One thing that as I'm reading the Old Testament, it keeps coming back over and over, and I've mentioned this in my life group, so sorry if you guys are hearing it a second time, and I've mentioned it a couple other times, but really, God's just continuing to show me like what he's done before, like he can do again. And so like losing hope in situations like this with the pandemic and everything going on over and over and over again, whenever God was speaking to his people in the Old Testament, he kept saying, didn't I get you out of Egypt? Like, didn't I rescue you from Egypt and get you across the Red Sea? Like, didn't I do that for you? So whatever kind of rough things are going on and inconveniences and stresses, just remembering that like he's already done things. Jesus has already died on the cross. He's already saved you. He's already done miracles in your life. And so just because he's not doing something right now shouldn't discount the fact of like the things he's already done in the past. So, yeah.
All right. On that note, thanks everybody for joining us for another episode of the podcast. And if you want to go to Proclaim, you can contact Kristen.
Yes,
I will see if she will give us information about contacting her in a professional way.
Yeah. MizzouProclaim@outlook.com.
Okay, cool. There it is. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.